BoxingVoice.com live with trainer Steve USS Cunningham for the Tyson Fury versus Steve Cunningham fight here at the press conference. So, Mr. Richardson, it got a little out of hand today. Words flew back and forth. Tyson's a bit of a character. What's your overall thoughts and assessment on today's press conference?
Never got out of hand. It was exactly where they needed to be. You have an unknown guy coming into a new arena and a new atmosphere, and he wants to be known. Where everybody saw Ali and Joe Frazier have an altercation on television, everybody seen Bernard Hopkins throw the flag down, so people feel they have to do this to get notoriety. So I understand the guy being across the sea and watching these things on television and say, hey, when I get to New York, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So we let him play. He's earned the right to come play. It puts the promotion in some perspective. There's people who don't know boxing that think you got to dislike each other in order to fight. You know what I mean? So he's one of those guys that showed me that already.
So basically you think that this was all an act, that he's looking for the attention, he's starving for the lights and the camera and the fame?
We were outside in front of the crowded, we were standing outside in front of this arena, in front of this building, and we watched him walk in. Nobody recognized him. Nobody knew who the guy was. This guy's going to fight in Madison Square Garden, and not one person identified him, was able to tell who he was. So he wants to change that, and he's earned the right. He's here. He's earned the right. So I don't think it was nothing wrong. I don't think nothing went out too far. I don't think he went too far with what he was doing. He was just trying to drum up. He's trying to whistle through the graveyard. You know what I mean? So he did what he had to do. And I mean, I hope it works out for him in that sense.
Now, he's saying that after he beats Steve Cunningham, he wants a personal apology from you and from Steve for saying that everyone that he's fought are bums and that he's a bum himself.
No one said he was a bum. I don't allow my fighters to fight bums. There's no Steve Cunningham is one of the best fighters in the world. Why would I let him fight bums? If you fight bums, it's because you need to fight bums because you think you're a bum yourself. Steve, in his second fight as a heavyweight, fought the third-ranked heavyweight in the world. Steve has fought cruiserweight champions who have belts. Steve has faced them all. So why would I allow him to fight bums? Fighting bums show I don't have confidence in Steve. He said, you're too small. I wouldn't let Steve fight a man who's too small. He said, you're not up to par, you're not relevant. I wouldn't let my guy fight somebody that's not up to par and not relevant. I want my guy to fight. He said he's the best fighter on the planet. So that's why Steve's here. Now we have to figure out why Tyson Fury's here. Now he said he couldn't find any fighters where he was at. I said, well, he should have got with Kathy Duve and them and come over here and get one of these promoters from the States. They'll find something for him.
Now, that's something that he said. He says he's the greatest fighter in the world, greatest fighter of all time. But his biggest name on his resume has to be Derek Chisora, a guy that gives a spirited effort, has a good punch, but has always failed at the big show. Is Steve Cunningham going to be Tyson Fury's best opponent till date?
Right now on paper, he's his best opponent, and Tyson Fury has belittled him and said he's not that. But I understand his position. Second of all, Tyson Fury is a young man. I got children his age, so I understand how kids work. You know, I have to check my sons in them sometimes. They get a little excited. Situation can be a little overwhelming for them, and they speak out of term sometimes, you know what I mean? So we can't knock him. He's a young kid figuring his way through this thing, you know what I mean? Steve on paper is the best fighter he's fought. Now we have to prove that Steve in the ring will be the best fighter he's faced.
My last question on this topic, I want to know game plan. I mean, usually when you have a big guy like Tyson Fury, even though we don't have many 6'9" fighters, the game plan for the smaller fighters is to get inside, work the body, stay in close to negate the reach of such a taller fighter. Would that necessarily be the right approach in this fight, being as though that he's not only tall and long, but he does have some power?
Every man that is big has power. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal's not a fighter. Would you stand there and let Shaquille O'Neal draw back and punch you in the face?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Because there's a good chance there's some power there. Every big man has power. They have the power of a big man. When you see Curtis Stevens has the power of a fighter, the leverage and the energy of a fighter, that's a different kind of power. A big man has the power of being a big man. So no, you don't want to be right in front of that. because it's a big man, okay? Can he fight? I think he can. I mean, I've talked to people, a lot of people don't. I think he can. A big man doesn't have to prove as much as a small man. You're a bigger man. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Shaquille O'Neal can win about 20 fights in the pros just being the bigger man. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking Tyson Fury. He thought I was, but I'm not knocking him. You use what you have to get where you are. He's used what he has to get where he is. He's the bigger man. He's gotten to the States of fighting at Madison Square Garden. He wants you to talk back so he can get angry and then he can fight on his emotions. I don't have that for him. I got respect for him. I got respect for any man who gloves up and steps in that arena and puts their life on the line. I have respect for the man, okay? The game plan is to win. That's the game plan. You formulate a game plan in order to be victorious. We have more work to do than they have. He has all the advantages. He's younger. He's bigger. He's all of these things that we say. Excuse me. He's all these things that we say. So the way he sees it, he won't even be seeing the second round because he's Tyson Fury. Okay, so we have to go and negate that. We have to go and prove that to be wrong. So in the second round, we've already won one battle. And then we move on from there and try to win enough battles to win the war.